I'm starting to record, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, and the first thing I want to know is a little bit about your background, who you are, and if you can explain how we meet, is very interesting.
Sure.
We share some interest in common, I think.
Sure. Yeah. I started in internet marketing in 2015, and so I guess I've been doing it for about 5 years now. And I got into it actually because I developed this card game. It's a Christian themed card game that I tried to get funded on Kickstarter. So I put all this work into this card game, probably for about 6 months. Got an artist from the Philippines, hired him through Elance at the time, which was then absorbed into Odesk and Upwork later on, and built this product. And at the end of the road, I put it on Kickstarter, kind of expecting it to take off, because you see a lot of card games and a lot of different products like that are successful, but I didn't really put any money into marketing. So I had a goal of like $10,000, and I think I raised something like 900, but with Kickstarter, you don't get the money. So it kind of just fell on its face, put all this work into it, and then fell on its face. And that's what led me into marketing. Started researching, different things around promotions and advertising, and that kind of led me into somehow finding my way to JV Zoo. And I purchased this like $35 course on something. I don't even remember what it was called now. And it was like half of it was about domain flipping, and the other half of it was about building a site and ranking it for local SEO. So that led me into this whole world of the independent market of, you can make money, generate income or wealth, or however you want to put it, without having to go to school, go to college and get a degree and go work for a company. And that's what I've been looking for my whole life. I just said, there's just no resources out there,
Yeah.
Very much the Wild West for learning about all this different stuff. So that's where I started. And at the time I was just working part-time at Home Depot, trying to figure out, what should I do? Where should I go? Like praying about it constantly, and that kind of just happened. And I just kept digging more and more into, I had a little bit of money from, my regular job. And so I just kept buying courses and things, and learning about these different facets between email marketing and SEO and web development. I spent a lot of time in WordPress. So I made a pretty good amount of money in WordPress. And pretty early on, I figured out that I could make some pretty good money on Upwork. And so I made a seller account on there, whatever it's called, and just started offering services for building basic websites and SEO consulting, because I kind of grew up with computers, so I picked up this stuff pretty quickly. Not, a master or anything, but having a better understanding of how to do things than just a lot of people who are not really good with tech, and who go onto these kinds of websites looking for help. So I started making my money through that, and it kind of built up into SEO consulting a lot, and just helping people with simple websites.
I had to ask you something. First, something that make me wonder. Something for the people in South America. It's very like strange or very difficult to imagine you start doing something with a crowdfunding. That's something we really don't know, because here is like people don't trust each other really. So crowdfunding means there is some trust, and you put some money, and a bunch of guys put some money on an idea. That's something I like to know. How do you start trying this. And next question for you, it's very interesting
Sure.
because education here means like I have to be in a classroom and pay for the education is the only way to learn. But you are searching finding your own path. That's
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, you
Mhm.
learn by yourself a lot of skills in this new economy, the digital economy, like flipping domains and doing whatever. It's like an it's like a parallel dimension for people, old school people. They don't
Yeah.
know what is happening in the back end of all this. Can you explain to us a little bit about crowdfunding and how do you learn your way to this?
Yeah. Well, as far as crowdfunding go, I really can't make a big comment on that because, like I was saying, I put my project on there and I didn't raise the money. So that's where marketing came into play for me, and I
But
never
you
picked it
try,
back up.
but you
Yeah, I
try
tried
in a
it.
way. Yes,
But
that's
so
so
in order
cool.
to make crowdfunding work, you have to have traffic. You have to have people who know about your project. And I had people who were like serial buyers who just found it and they messaged me and they said, "You have a really nice product, uh, but obviously you need more exposure." Um, so crowdfunding can work, but obviously you have to have marketing behind it in order to reach people who are interested in your product, which is basically true of anything you're trying to sell, whether it's a service or it's a product. But in terms of the second half of your question, which is the education half, this is kind of an intense claim I'm going to make here, but
Yeah.
that I think is still really hard for people to grasp. But I think it's empirically true. And what I would say to that is that 100 years ago or a couple hundred years ago, it was a revolutionary thing to be able to go to a library, to go to a library and to read books and to learn things yourself. And at some point, as the library became better developed, I truly believe that was a point where, with information more readily accessible at a library, the practical use of modern education, where people go to school and learn together, that really kind of began to die, because for a long time, educational materials and highly refined processes came from experts in industries, and so the materials from those experts were very, very rare. And that was the purpose of general education. But with the introduction of the library, it really kind of diminished in a significant way. And then further down the line here in the late 90s, when everybody started to get the internet, when I was in middle school, it was the time period when everyone started to get their own cell phones. And
Yeah.
so during that period of time when the internet became accessible, I mean, it's on a whole other level. Information is now available at your fingertips. So even the library became redundant, but we're still in an education system that is from like 200 years ago. It hasn't even caught up to the standards that were there when the library
Yeah.
was
I,
introduced,
I
and it's
agree.
not even close to where we are now with the internet. And fast forward to today, where now you can do a search for anything and you can find an answer from Quora or Stack Overflow or any of these, now just regular bloggers are putting out information on how to do things. So I have always, in my pursuit of figuring out how to do things, just do a Google search, and 90 something percent of the things that I go and look to try to do, I've been able to figure it out. And that's because the information is readily available.
Yeah.
um, so I think that's really the only thing that is stopping people is, okay, I can do a search, but it's just being terrified that, man, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to find it. It's just a matter of just sitting there for a while and just reading, just reading through the information and kind of clicking around and, trying to hack your way through all the weeds.
You feel it's a matter of have some kind of process of searching, process of learning by your own. You need to learn how to organize yourself to go throughout all the different stages in a research, because self-learning is some way of research. I think
Yeah,
we are not all ready for this, and I have been not educated to research really in the school.
right.
I discovered this by myself. It take me some time. How do you realize the power of the internet in terms of man? I can find something interesting here. I can do things inside here, or maybe I can make a whole career
Right.
working on the internet. How do you when do you define this like this is the future? How you
Yeah,
feeling?
that's a good question. Well, I would say, like, so in your typical education, the closest you're going to get to practical research is your teacher will say, I want you guys to go, here's a topic, go research this topic or read this section in the book and then write me an essay, write me 1,000-word essay. So in higher education, it's really trivial. It's all about trivia. You're just supposed to come up with an answer in a moment, but that answer isn't designed to solve a practical problem that's connected with a business making money,
Yeah.
and that's the key, is understanding that you have a goal to fulfill a need for a business out there. So you're looking out into markets, you're looking out into whatever the industry is that you're trying to provide some value to. What are the needs that these people have? Then I'm going to go figure out how to meet those needs, and then present those solutions, and they're willing to pay you for it. And this is another side of it, to the topic, is the major workforce is probably dominated by essentially marketing of big companies like Walmart or Home Depot or whatever these big companies are, grocery stores. They put out marketing materials for, hey, we need people to fill these job opportunities. And so people have kind of been conditioned to thinking that, oh, these are the jobs available in the marketplace. This is the entire economy. That's not true. There are, for as many jobs as those companies provide, there's a lot of jobs and a lot of money there. There's 10,000 or 100,000 small businesses or medium-sized businesses who just don't have that level of marketing, but they have needs, and they are trying to find people to provide them solutions or to give them consulting or insight for those things. So that's where the money really is. There's a huge amount of money on the table in that sector.
Yeah,
So,
I want to ask you something in the context of this situation with the COVID-19. Most of the universities here, at least in Chile, most of the universities and schools are locked down and closed. They are not giving they're not working really, and the people had to do like a jump into the unknown area of e-learning
yeah,
or e-learning, whatever it means really. And I have seen and read a lot of comments and complaints from young people about I don't like e-learning. I feel I don't feel this is the way to go. Even I'm stressed because I don't know how to do it by myself. Do you have any message for the people which is in the university or going through this phase, to do it by themselves using the computer? Do you have any message or recommendation for them? Because I think we are like in a box here. We don't know really how is the world really, and we need more opinions and more, especially from young people and smart people who can maybe give good advice for our
sure.
youngers.
Yeah, that's a difficult question, and I definitely have in mind some people who are kind of adverse to tech. And whenever I talk with those people, there's no way that I would be able to help a person who's really adverse to tech to go in, learn something that is more technical. I did a consult just in the past week or so here for a guy who basically purchased an asset, a website, And then he became really overwhelmed with learning WordPress. And
Oh my
so,
God. Yeah,
that,
it should be because it's not easy thing. Really.
yeah. And so in a sense, it's simple, but it's like a process, and it's very intimidating, when you look in the back end of some UI and you realize you have to learn where to post, how to do posts and all these different little things. So my advice to someone in that position would be to just, you've got to approach the online aspect in a way that, there's a saying, what's the best way to eat an elephant? It's not in one bite, but one bite at a time.
Sure.
A lot of people go and they try to swallow the elephant, but you've got to take it in steps, and for some people, they just can't. Like I have a certain lady in mind that I know who just cannot deal with a certain level of complexity. And so my advice to her would be to approach it with what is her industry, what are the things that she's involved in, and to just keep it really, really simple. And really, it's not necessarily about the knowledge as much as it's about the business model. And what I mean by that is, is your service online? Is it peer-to-peer? Like, are you consulting somebody on that? Then there's really not very much technical, whatever latency or whatever. There's not much technical difficulty involved. It's just a matter of, hey, you got to get your information out there. Then you got to have a way to advertise and reach those people. That's basically it. The core of that service is just your advice in that industry, that thing that you're interested in. Another thing would be, needing to set up an affiliate site or set up an e-commerce site. There's different kinds of business models, and so non-technical people would need to have an idea about the business model that they want to use, and they need to keep the tech side very simple. Like I talked to a girl not too long ago who's involved in like kind of this health and wellness, massage sort of thing, and who's really adverse to tech. So there's certain things that I wouldn't recommend to her, but she has a lot of knowledge and experience in doing massage and health and wellness topics. That's something that's valuable. That could be valuable with the business model in terms of courses, in terms of consulting. So that definitely matters. Like, I wouldn't recommend that people who are uncomfortable with technology all of a sudden go and start an e-commerce website. That would be very complex, very heavy to manage, So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting. I know one thing all the people have in common is some knowledge, first-hand knowledge or experiences in their field, and the beauty of the internet is the content is everywhere. So the first thing I start wondering is how I can convert my knowledge in a product or service I can sell over the internet or can bring value over the internet to exchange for money. Like maybe you create a niche site of some kind and you share your knowledge there, and you can reach people, and you can exchange ads per money or something like that, or being part of an affiliate program. There are so many things to do, but many guys have been all their lives in the physical market. So all the things is something is sorcery, really. It's like something is happening over the air, and the people are exchanging something magically. They make money. So can you tell us a little bit what are you doing now? What is your focus?
Sure.
Focus of your business. It's very interesting for us, and maybe you can reach some potential customers, or you can also bring great ideas to the people who is looking for a change in these moments.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm pretty focused on link building. So I've been doing SEO for 5 years for clients. I've done a lot of consulting, and a smaller percentage of those consulting clients will convert into retainers. And right now, I just happen to have some clients who are just really focused on building links rather than building content for their websites and things like that. So I'm really heavy into that. And then the rest is mostly just kind of maintenance or odd jobs for, helping clients with various problems, helping them with a site migration, helping them with a WordPress issue, consulting them on something or other. I've done a fair bit of email marketing consulting and consulting on things like Scrapebox. So that's mostly what I'm doing right now. I'm also working on some side projects now. I've been working for about a year and trying to shift over from client work into other income streams, things that are more monthly recurring, passive. And so I spent about 6 months, starting in last November, trying to develop a new method for creating static websites and doing static website hosting to kind of help these kinds of individuals that we're actually talking about, these startup business owners, to get these really light, powerful
something they can start very quickly and start doing something without any knowledge, like a solution ready to go. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah, and the sites are super fast and super clean, and basically I manage them so they don't have to deal with anything. And because I found that at least 80% of the market or something are these small business owners who want to get going, but a lot of service providers, they can't accommodate the low budgets. So that's something that I've been trying to figure out how to develop. And I basically just finished last month, and I'm getting ready to advertise that new service. So that's one thing that I'm working on. I'm also working on some affiliate SEO sites. So that's a new area for me. Most of my time is involved in client work, but that's something that I'm hoping that I'll be able to move from client work into more passive streams in the not too distant future. And that's something that I would recommend people think about, because like you were talking about in terms of blogging, there are some things that, like, anybody could start a blog and make money on ads or make money on affiliate sales. But that's one of those things that it's going to take like a year to build that content base and to start ranking, to start getting that traffic coming in and seeing real money. But a lot of people like myself, we need that now money. I call it now money. We got to get that. We got to have something we can offer. We got to get that yes. We got to get it within a week so we can get that money in the account, And so,
I understand what you mean with no money. We all need some no money sometimes, and these great things, you have to be patient, and it would take some time. For example, so what happened? For example, in my case, I also ran a lot of affiliate things, and I'm doing whatever it takes to create some value and stay alive, because all the rest of the businesses are dying, really. I was in tourism operations, hotels, ATVs, and all this is shut down, really. So for example, the whole idea of these interviews is very related with affiliated marketing. My sponsor is WP Engine, so at the end we are all working in the same path. That's the true thing, because I was a kind of hosting expert in the past, but today I'm not willing to run a business. Really, I am a little older. I don't have all the energy, and it's becoming so complex. So what I can do really is spread information around the world, talk about technology, talk with interesting people like you, for example, for instance, and pick up some traffic. So I'm in the same mission, finding ways to create value and exchange for traffic.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the way to go. Ultimately, I think that everybody should focus on those more passive methods, build those up over time, because when you do get that yes from that now money opportunity, it's money now, but it's also a lot more work, and then and
Yeah,
that money can disappear. Like
yeah. Money
that
exchange,
client can go off, and
money
you have to
exchange of
replace that
time.
client. So
Money in exchange of time, and sometimes it's more time than you just expect in the first time. So it's
yeah,
maybe sometimes it's a problem, but we all have
yeah, for
to
sure,
deal with this. So thank you so much.
sure, yeah,
I will ask you later to bring all your contact information. So if somebody wants to contact you for some project or
sure,
consulting, they can easily reach you, because I will put all the information in the text. If it is YouTube, it will be all the links, all the stuff in Facebook, the same, also in our website, the same thing. So
sure,
I want to thank you a lot, because I really appreciate this vision and your time, and maybe some
sure.
people will have some inspiration from what you're doing, and the spirit you put in your endeavors. So thank
Yeah, I
you.
hope so. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Okay, we'll stop the recording, and then I let me see. Oh my God, I'm so old for this.